Change in politics often happens out of sight. At the moment we were filming these shots in a meeting room behind the blacked out windows, Welsh Conservatives were deciding whether or not Andrew RT Davies should stay on as leader. We aren't allowed to film in that part of the Senedd where the meeting was taking place, but I was there outside the room. I saw the members come in. Some of them said they were going to back Andrew RT Davies. Most of them, though, wouldn't say how they were going to vote. In fact, he won that vote, but the group was split. By the time they were all heading to First Minister's questions, he'd said he was going to resign.
It's like a Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Always able to find humour, even in difficult circumstances. And there was humour inside the chamber too, from opponents.
We've always had political differences, but I've always appreciated the way that you've read the room, in particular on those big occasions. So I'd like to thank you for the way that you've conducted yourself on the whole with me in the Senedd.
He knows that I disagree with many aspects of his politics and his political direction, and I guess there's only one place where we've genuinely been on the same side, and that's for the Senedd rugby team, and I've been very pleased to be on the same side as him then, given that he's a hard man to bring down. But on a personal level, I wish him well.
He was soon out of the chamber and defending his record.
Whenever I've spoken to people, they know exactly where they stand.
Yeah, but I think some of your colleagues thought that perhaps you were flirting with the far right or playing with extremism or playing with fire.
Well, I think that's a position they wanted to try and create, because obviously they wanted to create a vacancy at the top of the Welsh Conservative group here in the Senedd.
You think that was the only reason that there was a concern, that they were manoeuvring?
That is what the evidence points to, and obviously they will have to answer the questions accordingly to the membership, why they voted in a way to destabilise the leadership here in the Bay as we build to 2026. Look happy!
Andrew RT Davies has dominated the Welsh Conservatives for more than 13 years, famous for making this conference slip.
We will make Brexit a success.
He bounced back from losing the top job once before, back in 2018. In recent months, he's championed the cause of farmers, and as a farmer himself says he understands the pressures they face. He may have more time to spend on the farm now, but his time in politics isn't over just yet. He plans to stand again in 2026.
Adrian joins me now. I suppose we look now to who is likely to replace him then.
And there's no obvious successor, Andrea. The group is clearly very divided. There is some debate even as to whether or not to have a contest at all, or whether to unite behind a single candidate. I think that seems unlikely too. Grassroots Conservatives who've been in touch today have said that they very much want a contest, and that's because they want to have a debate over which direction the party is going in. That's been part of the problem that Andrew RT Davies has experienced. So far, only one of the Senedd members has put their name forward, and that is the Chief Whip, Darren Miller, another long-standing Senedd member. Here's what he had to say.
My situation is that I'm a person who's an experienced campaigner. I think that what we've got to do at the next elections is to build on Andrew's legacy, and we need to draw voters in from all parts of society with all sorts of different views, and the only way we can do that is by presenting a credible plan to the Welsh people in advance of the next 2026 elections.
Everyone looking for unity. Will this solve the party's problems?
Well, I don't want to say it's very unlikely, but it's going to be a very difficult job for whoever takes over, even if they overcome the hurdle of deciding who is going to be in the first place, because the Conservatives are in a dire position in Wales. They've just been through a wipeout at a Westminster level in the UK general election, which was only in July. They're still recovering from that, really. Our poll yesterday showed that they could be in fourth position in 2026, which is when the next Senedd election is, behind Reform. And Reform, and the threat from Reform to the Conservatives, is very much at the top of their mind. That's why Andrew RT Davies at the beginning of the programme was talking about the full Welsh fry-up versus croissants and muesli. There is this divide and debate over whether the party should meet the Reform threat as they see it head on, or whether they should stay in the centre for politics. Debate is a positive way of putting it. Division is another.
Well, thank you for putting the food analogy into context anyway. Adrian, thank you.